Welcome to a super thrilling, vibrant explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into an absolutely amazing, colorful world. We're going to explore a story packed with glowing colors, fascinating creatures, and one very, very important rule. Yep, this is the story of the Great Garden Adventure, the very first man and woman, a super sneaky shadow, and one giant choice that literally changed everything.
But hey, before we jump into the garden, let me ask you something. Have you ever been told not to touch something? Just imagine a shiny, delicious-looking cookie jar sitting way up on the very top shelf of your kitchen. Your parents say, "Do not touch that jar." Suddenly, that jar is literally the only thing you can think about, right? Well, that super strong feeling of wanting something you just can't have, that's exactly what our explainer is all about today.
Section 1. The One Big Rule. So picture this beautiful, magical place called the Garden of Eden. Adonai, God, gave the man and woman pretty much everything. I mean, they had delicious fruit, wonderful animals to play with, and just perfect weather every single day. But he gave them one massive rule about a specific tree right in the middle of the garden. Using his biggest, most booming, yet gentle voice, God told them, "Do not eat from it or touch it, or you will die." They had all this incredible freedom, but just one super serious boundary to keep them totally safe. Section 2. The Crafty Shining Serpent. Now, creeping into our vibrant story is this dark, slithering shape. It's a shadowy serpent. But wait, it isn't just dark. It's covered in this glowing, magical light. It gives off a radiant, shining energy, like a shining one full of cunning, and almost like it has powers of divination. It looks super fascinating to anyone watching. And this creature was incredibly crafty. What does that mean? Well, crafty means being a super clever trickster. In fact, this shining shadow was way more crafty than any wild animal God had ever made. And here is exactly how a trickster works. The serpent slithers right up to the woman and, with a sneaky, dramatic whisper, asks, "Did God really say you are not to eat from any tree in the garden?" Now, hold on a minute. God didn't say they couldn't eat from any tree. He just said they couldn't eat from one specific tree. You see what's happening? The shining serpent was planting these tiny, confusing seeds of doubt right into her mind. Section 3. A very bad choice. The tension is really building now as we reach the most famous, colorful moment in the whole garden. The woman actually corrects the serpent, telling him the rule about not touching or eating from that tree in the middle. But the glowing shadow just replies, "It is not true that you will surely die." Wow, that is a massive, massive lie. The serpent promises her that eating the fruit will actually open her eyes and make her just like God, knowing good and evil. He totally makes it sound like God is keeping some wonderful, magical secret from them. So, how did this shiny trick actually work? Let's break it down. Step 1. She saw the tree was good for food, like it looked incredibly yummy. Step 2. She saw it had a pleasing appearance. The fruit was bright, vibrant, and so beautiful. Step 3. She wanted to be wise. And finally, step 4. She reached out and she took a bite. Then she handed some to her husband, who was standing right there with her, and he ate it too. Just like that, the one big rule was broken. Section 4. Hiding in the trees. The very moment they took that bite, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, and suddenly they realized they were naked. They totally panicked and rushed to sew these scratchy, itchy, green fig leaves together just to make clothes. But then they hear a sound. Footsteps in the evening breeze. The bright, colorful garden suddenly gets very, very quiet. They heard the voice of Adonai, God, walking in the garden. Knowing they broke the big rule, the man and the woman run and hide themselves deep, deep among the trees. Then a powerful voice calls out, "Where are you?" The man admits he hid because he was naked and afraid. God asks, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree?" And guys, this kicks off an absolutely incredible rapid-fire confrontation about who exactly broke the big rule. Instead of just saying, "I'm so sorry, I totally messed up," Adam immediately points his finger. He says, "The woman you gave to be with me, she gave me fruit, and I ate." He blames the woman, and honestly, he even kind of blames God for giving him the woman in the first place. He completely refuses to take any responsibility. Not missing a beat, God turns right to the woman and asks what she has done. And guess what? She points her finger right back at the glowing, shadowy serpent. She says, "The serpent tricked me, so I ate." It's this energetic, almost hilarious chain of blame, jumping straight from the man to the woman and finally to the sneaky trickster.
Section 5. The big consequences. Because they broke the rule, God had to hand out some very big consequences. First up, the trickster's serpent is cursed. It loses whatever legs it had and is forced to crawl on its belly and eat dust forever. Next, the woman will have pain and a lot of hard work in bringing forth children. And for the man, well, the ground itself is cursed. Instead of a perfect, easy garden, sparkly purple thorns and prickly thistles are going to sprout right up from the dirt. Humans will now have to sweat and work incredibly hard just to get bread until they eventually return to the dusty ground they were made from.
But right in the middle of all these tough, heavy consequences, we actually see this really beautiful moment of hope. The man names his wife Hava, which means life, because she is going to be the mother of all living things. And even though they broke his rule, God still shows them kindness. He takes away those super itchy fig leaves and beautifully makes them warm garments of skin to clothe them. It shows us that even when there are big consequences, care and love are still right there. Section 6. Leaving the beautiful garden. Now God realizes that because the humans know good and evil, he has to protect something else that's very, very important, the magical tree of life. Because if they ate from that, they would live forever in their fallen state. So they are sent out of the beautiful Garden of Eden. The man is sent out to work the hard, dusty ground. And finally, the garden has to be guarded so they can't sneak back in. Step by step, the man and woman have to pack up and leave their bright, colorful home behind. And for our epic finale, God places magnificent, powerful guards called Kruvim at the east of the garden. But wait, that's not all. Right beside them is a brilliant, fiery, flaming sword that literally spins and turns in every single direction. It flashes with these amazing bright colors to block the way back to the Tree of Life forever. It is a wildly amazing and totally unforgettable end to their time in the garden. To wrap up this explainer, I've got a huge question for you. What would you do if you met the shining serpent? Think about how you make choices when you're tempted. Kind of like that shiny cookie jar we talked about earlier. Would you listen to the clever trickster, or would you remember the rules designed to keep you safe? It's definitely something big to think about. Thank you so much for exploring this great garden adventure with me today, and keep asking great questions.